गुड मॉर्निंग एवरीवन। हिमांशी, बेटा जस्ट सी जो हमारे पैनलिस्ट हैं और ऑर्गेनाइजिंग टीम मेंबर्स हैं उनको को-होस्ट बना दो सो दैट दे कैन अनम्यूट देमसेल्व्स।
ओके मैम।
डॉक्टर सोडी हैज जॉइंड। गायत्री देखो जरा।
नो मैम।
हिमांशी एक बार कॉल करना सर को। प्रिंसिपल सर विल बी जस्ट जॉइनिंग इन 5-10 मिनट्स। कुश को भी देखो गायत्री, कुशग्रा सचदेवा इनको भी को-होस्ट बना दो so that he can unmute। अभी थोड़ी देर तुम सबके लिए अनम्यूट कर दो, बाद में ऑफ कर देना। Kushagra Sachdeva also. So good morning, everyone, and welcome each and everyone. We will start in some time. Good morning, Indrapreet Alexa.
Good morning, Ji. Good morning, man. Good morning.
On behalf of SCTB Khalsa College.
Yeah.
And so we're just waiting for Principal Sir and others to join.
No problem. We can wait.
Kushik, if you can find out from Mohit Sir also. Gayatri, please make Sumit Mishra as co-host.
Okay, ma'am.
Himanshi, अभी थोड़ी देर unmute सबको कर दो. Later on when we start, then you can make only the co-host as unmute.
मैम सबको अलाउ कर दिया मैंने.
Okay. So I think Sumit Mishra is helping Mohit sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
We're
So
just
this only. Yeah. So we have made you co-host.
all right, ma'am.
Yeah.
We will not be sharing any data that way, but thank you.
Okay. Okay. Gayatri, make me also co-host. And just check out for Sodhi sir. Otherwise, we will start just in 2 minutes.
Hi.
Good morning, sir, and welcome on behalf of Shri Guru Tegh Bahadur Khalsa College, University of Delhi, and GAD-TLC Center of Ministry of Education.
Thank you.
So let me just start, and my team, please keep a watch on. I think Sodhi sir and Principal sir will also join in some time, and please make them co-host.
Hi, Alexa.
Morning, Mohit. Morning, Mohit. How are you?
Bilkul badhiya.
So you will do the explaining of the criminal side. Nice to meet virtually.
Yeah.
I think the last 2.5 years, the virtual has been really
Virtual has been the real.
been the real, and it's actually we were able to connect with far away people also. Otherwise, it is not possible. At least in academics.
Actually, it's changed our way of thinking now. Earlier, we used to hesitate talking on VCs and things like that. Now it's a first mode as VC, and then we say, okay, physically milte the.
Right.
It saves time. It improves efficiency. It has its own advantages.
Yeah, at the same time, I think you can do a couple of more meetings rather than just focusing on one.
That's right.
So I am Professor Vimal Rar, sir, for your kind information, and I'm a faculty in Khalsa College, and I'll be anchoring today, and I'm also the coordinator of Forensic Science Unit at SGDB Khalsa College.
Wonderful.
Just waiting for Sodhi sir if he had joined. Himanshi, can you please find out at the back end? And Atul Sachdeva sir, you are there. Welcome, sir. And Kushagra, others. Okay, so let's get started. So welcome each and everyone in this national webinar on role of forensic science in legal investigations. Today, a very sunny morning in Delhi and different weather in different parts of the country, I welcome each one of you on behalf of University of Delhi and SCTB Khalsa College, which is a constituent college of University of Delhi, and Guru Angad Dev Teaching Learning Center. It is a center of Ministry of Education, Government of India, under the prestigious scheme of Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya National Mission on Teachers and Teaching. My own college is situated in North Campus, and as I told you, it is a NAC A graded and constituent college of University of Delhi. So welcome each and everyone with a virtual bouquet of flower. Wish we could have it real when we had a phase 2, but very soon I think we'll plan for more events taking your guidance. And in this distinguished panel, we have Senior Advocate Shri Mohit Mathur sir, President Delhi High Court Bar Association, Delhi High Court. Welcome, sir. Senior Advocate Shri Inderjeet Singh Alag, sir. And he's again a designated Senior Member Executive, Delhi High Court Bar Association, Delhi High Court, New Delhi. Welcome, sir. I also welcome my worthy principal. He's Principal STTB Khalsa College, Professor Jaswinder Singh, and Director GAD-TLC for being with us in this webinar and helping us to take the shape. And many programs are lined up, which I'm sure all of you are waiting to know, not only in this webinar, but many other information that we are going to share. And I also welcome Professor G.S. Sodhi, who is a forensic science expert, my own colleague who just recently retired. The entire forensic science unit was being handled by him, and now I am helping him. And together we are taking this in a new dimension, and we are running various courses in forensic science, which I'll be sharing. Myself, I am an e-learning expert apart from being a chemistry faculty, and we have the mandate of training teachers for their promotional requirements. And now we have diversified into various online activities. I'd like to apprise that in online front, we have evolved the models which are being followed by various institutions and in the as well as in various regulations being formed. In the organizing team, I'm also privileged, and I will like to mention my gratitude to Atul Sachdeva sir, Senior Journalist, Kushkara Sachdeva, Advocate, Delhi High Court, Saurav, Advocate, Delhi High Court and Director, Legal, Vidyavani Foundation, Gaurav Gulati, Advocate, Allahabad High Court and Director, Droid Penal Group, Prayagraj, to be helping me in conducting this event and many more things lined up. So I welcome you all. And most importantly, I welcome each and, excuse me. Most importantly, I welcome each and every participant who has joined, and they are from different backgrounds, many advocates, professionals, teachers, and other participants. So I welcome each one of you in this national webinar on role of forensic science in legal investigations. Let me also apprise you about, very briefly, about the distinguished panelists we have today. First of all, we have Shri Mohit Mathur ji, and he is a senior advocate based in New Delhi. I think sir specializes in the criminal lawyer. Just a minute. Excuse me for my slightly bad throat. So Shri Mohit Mathur ji is a senior advocate, and he is a third generation lawyer from Delhi University. He has graduated from St. Stephen College, and sorry, I'm extremely sorry for, just give me 2 minutes. So here I am back again. Extremely sorry for my bad throat. So after attaining his LLB from Faculty of Law in 1991, he joined the chambers of then Attorney General Shri G. Ramaswamy. And since almost 3 decades, he has proficiently handled cases in various fields before the Honorable Supreme Court, as well as various high courts of India. He has been regularly handling criminal cases, both at the level of trial as well as at the appellate and revision stages. He has dealt extensively with cases under special statutes, such as the Prevention of Corruption Act, Food Safety Acts, PMLA, etc., to name a few of them. He has been associated with prominent cases. And these particular prominent cases, they are, again, the list is very, very long. And I think some cases definitely I will like to name, sir. Bofor's case with former PM, JMM MP's bribery case, Jain Diary Hawala case, coal block, allocation corruption trial and appeals, besides several other important cases. He has also been involved in several cases that have led to intriguing developments in law. For example, the evidentiary nature or the value of snigger dogs in investigation and the application of law of limitation to special statutes. And I'll just mention that, yes, in Delhi University also, he was campus student leader in campus law center, and also served as honorary secretary of the Delhi High Court Bar Association from 2011 to 2014. So I welcome you, sir, in this distinguished panel. Very honored to have you, and we are really looking forward for your words. And let me also introduce to you the other distinguished senior advocate that we have with us, and that is none other than Shri Inderpreet Singh Alakji. Welcome, sir, again. He is a first-generation lawyer, and he did law from Campus Law Center, University of Delhi in 1986. He joined the chambers of Arjun Sikri, who retired as a Supreme Court judge, and Mr. Inderpreet Singh Alag was designated as senior advocate by Delhi High Court in 2017 and practiced in High Court and Supreme Court. And I am very sure that sir has also handled and solved many cases. And I think this is where I will say this webinar is a start of the interaction between the professionals from law background and the academia, because now as we are moving towards embracing National Education Policy 2020, we as teachers also have to be knowing where all these things get applied. And in this front, if you look at forensic science is nothing but all the different sciences, their principles are being applied to solve the cases and bring as evidence to the court of law. And that's where the role of them judiciary comes. And we are looking forward that we will be having good inputs and guidance from our distinguished panel, so that we can design our forensic science course and make them more meaningful as we go further. As I told you, this SCTV Khalsa College is actually a constituent of college established in 1951, and it is managed by Delhi Sikh Gurdwara Management Committee. It's a body established under the Act of Parliament of India. And this college is named after the 9th Guru, Shri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, who sacrificed his life to uphold secular values and is an institution with cosmopolitan environment and progressive outlook, like situated near Delhi Vishwavidyalaya and in the North Campus, a very happening place. And Guru Angad Dev Teaching Learning Center, which I am heading as the project in charge, we have here we are seeking blessings from Guru Angad Dev Ji, who is the second of the 10 Sikh Gurus. And we have state-of-art infrastructure in terms of training teachers in the digital skills, as well as the newer pedagogies which have to be embraced for the teaching in blended mode as well as in online mode. And we are doing various trainings in terms of development of e-resources, where again in major EPG Pathshala project, the forensic science course we have developed, which is now being used by different universities across the country for the teachers and the students' perspective. And till now, we have trained more than 74,000 teachers, and the number is continuing every day. May I request if Principal Sir has joined? Let me. Himanshi, can you help me?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Vimal, I have joined. Please
So, sir,
proceed.
please, if you can give a welcome address before we go to the lamp lighting, or we do the lamp lighting first?
Yeah. Kindly do the lamp lighting then.
Okay.
Please.
So, welcome, sir. And I will request each one of you to please join hands, although virtually, in having this digital virtual lamp lighting. So with this, I once again welcome each one of you, and especially Principal Sir, and Sir, please formal welcome address. I will request you. And before that, let me tell you, he's again a well-known economist and very instrumental in taking all these activities at GAD-TLC further. So please, sir, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Vimal. Let me begin by welcoming our very special guest, Shri Mohit Mathurji, the Senior Advocate President, Delhi High Court Bar Association, New Delhi, and Sardar Inderbir Singh Ji, Alag, the Senior Advocate and Senior Member, Executive Delhi High Court Bar Association. And also our friend Shri Atul Sachdevaji and his younger sibling, who is a product of the University of Delhi. And, he has taken the initiative to do much of the spade work. All the participants who are joining, and also Dr. G.S. Sodhi, who has, I think, joined this inaugural session. I, on behalf of Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Khalsa College, University of Delhi, and on behalf of our management and Delhi Sikh Gurudwara Management Committee, and also on behalf of Guru Angad Dev Teaching Learning Center, the Ministry of Education, take this opportunity to welcome you and express our gratitude to our very special guests, which I have mentioned. We are really privileged to have these senior people to mentor us, to guide us, and also to provide very valuable inputs into the course that we are going to start in the form of a certificate course on forensic science. I'm sure Professor Vimal has shared with you the kind of work that we are doing. We have done, in fact, in the area of forensic science. This course, the postgraduate diploma was started in University of Delhi because prior to, the, let us say, the immediately rather after the implementation of many economic policies, we found that the economy is growing at a very fast speed and the society is also changing at a much, much larger speed. And we also witnessed that with this, the technology which was being adopted at different levels was, not only helping the social system to achieve a larger level of development, but it was also, helping some sort of antisocial elements in the system. Not only in our country, but I think this is the phenomenon which was witnessed the world over. And also, the University of Delhi under our earlier Vice Chancellor, Professor Deepak Paintal, we had a discussion with the university administration, and they asked us that since the conviction rate is so less because of the lack of evidence, many people, they go scot-free from the system just because there is not corroborative evidence. So can we help, train the young minds and also the police in a certain sense to do a course which can help us in preserving the evidence, which can help us in managing the crime scene, and also picking up the initial evidence the way it should be done. Because very bright minds are here today with us, I will not delve into this, but we in fact have been very successful, especially, even though we started only with the fingerprints program in Khalsa College, but later on we were asked to do the documentation verification, and we also had many international conferences where people from Israel, America, Canada, England, they participated, and they shared their experience, their research experience with many of us. And in the process, we evolved interest further into this. And then we also designed a course for the University of Delhi, which was the BSc Forensic Science. But because of the lack of resources or the lack of faculty, we could not start this course. But it was adopted in the UGC framework. Our college was pioneer in designing that course. And also along with this, the University of Delhi started the MSc in Forensic Science. All these are the areas, this is the development which has taken place. But within the forensic science, especially in the BSc, we do many areas. For instance, the management of the crime scenes, especially, if some ballistics crime takes place or some shootout takes place, or if somebody dies in, let us say, a sudden fire in a building, or if a building collapses, then many people are killed, how we can pick up the evidence and preserve it and get it examined through the forensic labs and then corroborate it while helping our judicial system. So that was our initial intention. And subsequently, the university also asked us to do the documentation verification, because cyber crime or the digital crime is very rampant. And also, the access to the boundaries between the individual privacy and the information which is available in the public domain, the space is getting lessened and lessened. And as a consequence, there is a lot of possibility of documentation manipulation. And our college was asked, especially during the admission process, for the last so many years to do the admission verifications for the students, especially those who submit the certificates, which seem at the initial stage seem to be slightly suspect. And then we, given our interest, the Delhi police, they allowed us to collaborate with the local police stations, and our students, they used to go to the crime scene, or they used to get training in the police stations, and they also help the police administration or the police personnel how to collect the information. And we used to give very valuable inputs to them, because sometimes, because of the lack of training in the police department itself, much of the evidence is damaged. So I think Special Commissioner B.S. Barad was there at that time, and he allowed us to meet the police stations, and now we have a kind of MOU with Delhi Police to do this. And then we also designed certain training programs in forensics for the Delhi police personnel. And the Indian military also asked, military police also asked us to train their personnel in, especially in picking up the forensic evidence. And we had a 1-month training program with them. I think 2 programs were run, but subsequently Again, because of the lack of resources on part of, or the lack of allocation on the part of the Indian military, those programs we did not do further, but they are very keen to, have collaboration with us. And many, renowned retired personnel, either from the judiciary or from the Indian military, they have been joining our postgraduate program in Khalsa College. So it is with this background that we thought that we would request our senior colleagues in the judiciary and also in the bar to design a course which can be, helpful, especially, it is a kind of legal literacy training program. Even the ordinary attendants in the, senior advocate's office, they should know that how to, because most of the time the senior advocates are busy. So the clients normally meet them, and quite a number of times, the customers, they go to their office and they talk to the munchi or their attendants, and they come back after providing the information. So we thought that we will design a program which will help, the advocates, which will help the practitioners, and also we would, use their resource, use their knowledge, how to enrich the teaching or the training in forensic science in the university system. So, sir, we are really privileged, the President Delhi Bar Association and Sardar Singh Ji for giving us this opportunity to invite you and, know your opinion and your guidance for running this program. Once again, I express my gratitude to all of you, especially the participants and others. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your always kind words and guiding us to take new initiatives. And rightly said that I think in forensic science and academia, the role of how the judiciary is very, very important, and we have to learn from them. And that's where some very important guidance we'll be getting in this webinar from our two distinguished senior advocates. And those who have joined, a very important piece of information, please, the registration link is being shared here in the front as a slide. You can scan this on your phone, the QR code, or the link is there in Zoom, as well as many participants who have joined on YouTube Live. The link is there in your chat section. So please do register for the e-certification that will be following this particular webinar, and there will be one more feedback link which we'll be sharing later. And now I will request entire distinguished panelists to again join hands, and especially our chief guest Mohit Mathur sir and Inderbi sir to please give your blessings to launch this very special course which Professor Jaswinder Singh sir mentioned about. Here it goes. This is a certificate course in forensic science and legal investigation. Yeah. This is a 3 months course, and more details are going to be followed in today, and the detailed brochure, this is the front page of that brochure, will be released. And all those interested, please, in the registration link and the feedback you mentioned that you're interested, we will be sending you detailed information. So this course is a highly flexible mode, keeping in mind the professional commitments our senior advocates and the new entry into the system are having. But there are 3 modes in this, let me tell you, and it is open to both the judiciary as well as the academics. And how it goes, there is an option A where the face-to-face mode is there, and in this face-to-face mode, the eligibility is advocates and professionals from legal background, and there are limited seats. This being face-to-face, this will be held in Khalsa College. We have state-of-art forensic science labs where the registration amount has been kept nominal. This is entirely a no profit, no loss mode that our institution is taking further. Option B will be in online mode. Now, in online mode, anyone from across our country can join who is basically a science or law graduate, and they can do this 3 months online certification course. And here the registration amount is again considerably nominal. Slight differential is there, and that is understandable. And for my teacher colleagues from different parts of the country who are teaching any subject of science or law, they are also looking for their professional upliftment, and that's where the role of refresher courses come. And all of you know the GAD-TLC has a mandate which can give you these type of courses which can be utilized for your promotional requirement. So the option C is highly flexible mode, that along with the same timeline, you will be there in online mode only with us. No duty leave will be required, and you can upgrade your knowledge in this field, which is forensic science and the legal investigation. And for every science teacher, because I am a chemistry person, I can really tell you that it will open your horizons into how you can have your students integrated in some project activity, or like look at Dr. Sodi, who right from Khalsa College, he has made around 10 patents and 200 publications just by applying chemistry in fingerprint detection. So much, I think the intellectual discourse will be happening, and I'm sure all of you will be getting idea, and I'm sure the forensic science team, their experiences will have many distinguished persons who will be coming and guiding us. There will be a good virtual as well as face-to-face learning environment. So this is where we are launching this today, and I'm thankful to Mohit Mathur sir and Indrapreet Arag sir and entire distinguished panel, Professor Jaswinder Singh, Dr. Sodi, our other organizing member Atul Sachdeva sir, Kushkara, Gaurav Gulati, Saurav, and all other participants to be witnessing this moment with us. Thank you everyone. We are also having some seats left in our 1-year PG diploma, and slight delay we have done because of alignment of this with the PG of Delhi University. The PG courses have not yet started. So there are still some seats left, and the admissions are open on first come, first serve basis. The minimum requirement is 55% in science background here. Here we don't entertain. This is more of a hands-on and a more rigorous preparation. So only for the science background students, which eligibility is mentioned, with at least 55% marks, and that will be done there. Now coming to today's webinar, national webinar on role of forensic science in legal investigation. I think we are all waiting to listen the words of wisdom coming from our two distinguished panelists, senior advocates. And first of all, I will request Shri Mohit Mathurji to please share his thoughts on this particular topic. So over to you, sir. Welcome.
Good morning, everyone. It's still not afternoon as yet. I thought probably my turn might come in the afternoon. But I must first thank all of you for inviting me to a panel of such distinguished guests and speakers. I must thank my senior at the bar and very dear elder brother, Sri Indrapreet Singh Alag, who's also a part of my team of the executive committee in the High Court Bar Association. I thank Professor Saab, the Principal Saab, Professor Jaswinder Singh ji, Professor Sodi ji, Professor Vimal ji, who is being kind enough with all her words of praising us. I don't know whether we deserve it or not, but let us take it as a compliment today. I thank Mr. Atul Sachdeva, Kushagra, Saurav and Gaurav for having us here. And this is a very interesting topic. I'd say in this day and age, it would be foolhardy to underestimate the importance of forensic science, the use of technology, and the related milieu in the investigations. Being in the field of criminal law, it allows me to both be the recipient in the negative as a defense counsel, and sometimes to prosecute the case, it helps in proceeding further. And I'm sure my dear colleague, Mr. Alag, would be able to elaborate on the use of this technology in the allied fields in the civil law. But at the same time, I would also want to say, and I'm sure all the distinguished people here are aware of this fact. Forensic, the very word, only directly implies application of scientific methods and techniques. Though it has a very common usage and probably connotation towards its utility in legal cases and in the court of law. But it is a practice of scientific methods and techniques to discern anything. And therefore, when it comes to investigation in the fields of law, it could be investigating any fact or an offense. Either which way, it's the application of the science, the latest techniques, technology, which helps in moving forward and proceeding and understanding of the situation. Sometimes, on the lighter side, if I may be allowed to say, this forensic technology, forensic science in the investigation is used by enforcement agencies to take action. And when I say take action, means mostly the coercive action, and get the best out of their alleged people, accused people, what to get out of them in their methods. And sometimes as a defense strategy, it helps in putting things in what we call as the thanda basta, that you use that the forensic science and the technology to somehow convince the court as well as the investigating agency, put them on a track where you put them in the line where they will keep on investigating in a different way. In my understanding, forensic science, and my experience tells me, is not just where some kind of a crime to the human body is involved. Forensic science is not just where the criminal investigation is on the human behavior, but also today's time and today's requirement, there is application of forensic science even in the financial crimes, the white-collared crimes. And there is a large element of application of forensic science in such kind of situations. I'll dwell on it as we progress. But what one needs to understand is that any investigation, be it on the civil case or be it in a criminal case, is the most crucial one. It is an area where you need to build the blocks for your prosecution of the case. And when I say prosecution of the case, please do not take me as only a criminal prosecution, but when you want to just pursue the case or follow up of the case. So be it a seasoned professional or just a beginner, we must understand that the justice system relies in India on evidence. In criminal law, it has to be irrefutable, beyond reasonable doubt, and without any kind of a possibility of another interpretation. In the civil law, it may be for preponderance of probabilities, what is more likely, what is more probable, how one can understand it. But primarily, the legal system depends on evidence. And being on the criminal side, I think I can probably shed more light on the way it happens in the criminal justice system and how it can be useful. In my understanding, the forensic science or application of forensic science has developed not just in the last few hundred years, couple of hundred years, but probably if we go back in time and try to dig in to the past of forensic science, one would find that the old system of polygraph test, which we have today, trying to detect lies by a witness or an accused or a defendant. In the good old days, if you see the Chinese culture or the Indian courts, if you have the chronicles of Indian courts, there was a system where dry rice would be fed to the person, keep it in his mouth, and he would be made to spit it out. It used to be the saliva test. And one can find it if you go back in history. That was probably the precursor to any kind of a polygraph test. Because scientifically, it was said that a person who was lying was less likely to produce saliva. And there would be less saliva, therefore the rice would have less saliva. And if the person had a lot of saliva, the dry rice or rice powder, as they would feed, they would find that it would be that he's trying to tell the truth. That was probably one of the old ways, which at that point of time was the forensic way. As their science and their understanding of science taught us that. As things developed and as things progressed, forensics were primarily used in murder crimes or heinous crimes. And that's when they would initially try checking and comparing the injuries by inflicting the similar injuries on animal carcasses. If the kind of injury was similar, it was a comparable test. And on that basis, they would proceed. And they would find that this kind of a weapon most likely was used. We are all aware, and I'm sure most of us would have been the avid readers of Arthur Conan Doyle and Agatha Christie. And Sherlock Holmes and Poirot both would rely on scientific methods. That application of science is forensics. Call it by the name forensics, or call it the ingenuity of the detective. But what he applied was forensics. So what we have all been used to is the application of forensic science. Now, as we commonly understand, under the criminal law, criminal procedure code is what determines how investigations have to take place, how the inquiries and trials have to take place, and so on and so forth, the legal processes. There is a section 293 of the Criminal Procedure Code, which allowed certain scientific experts and their reports and testimonies to be admissible by way of evidence. And just as the report itself, and no need to bring them in unless and until the other side wanted to cross-examine the witness. Now, obviously, this is not an exhaustive list. It only contained the Central Forensic Laboratory person, the serology, director serology, director toxicology. Forensics, Central Forensic Science Laboratory is a very, very wide, it's a place which carries on a lot of examinations, not just the chemical examinations, which Professor Vimal, as a chemistry professor, would know. But it also carries out ballistics, it also carries out the other handwriting experts' opinions, and so on and so forth, toxicology, etc., on common poisons, etc. But when we see the way things have progressed, today we have forensics in accounting also. There is a concept of, if people are aware, there is Food Adulteration Act or Food Safety Act now, as it has been rechristened. There is, since it's a specialized area and specialized field, there is to be an assessment of whether the adulteration which happens, is it injurious to health or is it innocuous? For that, there is a food analyst. And then there is a central food laboratory. There are 6, 7 all over the country. Their reports are also considered to be conclusive reports, because they examine the aspect of whether a particular element which stands introduced in the food item, does it cause the character of the food to become injurious to health? Or is it a simpliciter dilution of the standards which are required for human consumption? As things have progressed under the Information Technology Act also, we have thought of situations where forensic investigations are necessary to find out and investigate further where is the genesis of the electronic material which has come, because that sometimes becomes necessary. Similarly, they have to also examine whether a particular computer has been used or not. Now, I am reminded in my early years of practice, there was a case, because Evidence Act, which actually permits these evidences which are collected during the course of investigation, be it forensic or otherwise, they are classified. What all will be immediately taken in as evidence. Our Evidence Act today also only permits the experts' evidence to be persuasive. It's not a conclusive evidence. So under section 45 of the Evidence Act, the experts are allowed to bring in their evidence and you are allowed to produce your expert evidence. But there is only so much that they can prove. And there is a chance of rebuttal. And furthermore, under section 73, 74 of the Evidence Act, the court also has the right, especially in cases of handwriting, to examine the thing and feel whether it is to be accepted or not to be accepted. Now, handwriting, toxicology, fingerprinting, and science of fingerprints probably have been very old techniques which have developed over the years. But of late, the fields of forensic science which have actually come up and are relied very frequently are the DNA profiling. Now, DNA has been found and generally believed to be a true analysis and a unique identification of any individual. And I'm sure Mr. Alag would bear me out on that, that even in cases where there is a doubt on parenting, whether the parent is the right parent or not, and the child is questioning the legacy and the wanting the inheritance and all, DNA profiling is the match which is used. DNA profiling has been a very, very common thing in the last 25 years or so in investigations where the investigating agencies have come to a roadblock. And sometimes it's the DNA profiling which has led them to different clues. A strand of hair, a broken tooth. And one of the famous cases on this had been the Tandoor murder case, as they used to call it, Sushil Sharma's case, where the lady was actually cut into pieces and put into the incinerator. And she would have, how do you identify a person when the corpse is not there, single individual thing? So Arushi Talwar case is a very, very recent example of this millennium. Even, and these things have happened abroad as well, where if, again, relying on the extra academic material, if people recall this Oscar-winning movie Erin Brockovich, where it was the forensic science which examined whether the Pacific and PNG, whether their contamination of the groundwater was actually the result of the different ailments that happened to people, connecting the ailments to the incident. Though it was a depiction of the facts, but at a different place. So we have seen over the years, and one case where I am immediately not able to recall, the tire marks were examined. The tire marks were examined to find out whether the vehicle, the offending vehicle, was the same. And though this evidence was not the relevant evidence, but even in the BMW case, the skid marks of the tires were taken up. So forensic, by the very word, the etymology is the scientific application of methods and techniques. We have seen every day ballistic experts coming in, giving the evidences, and I'm sure all of us who read the newspapers find that there are cases where the bullet which was left behind traces to the gun, and if the gun is then found with the person or recovered at the behest of the person, then there is one very important and a key circumstance which builds the case further. And obviously it leads to a different kind of presumption. The most common thing I think today in our lives, which though may not be in investigation as for a criminal case always, is what we keep hearing, the use of the word post-mortem. Post-mortem is being done where they just want to even rule out foul play or an unnatural event. Post-mortem need not be always that there is a homicide involved or a suicide involved. It can be just to rule out the possibilities. What is done? It's the understanding of the human body, which the doctors employ in understanding from the deceased persons. Organs are studied, sometimes to remove the chances of any kind of a poison having been given. The viscera is preserved. There is an understanding of that viscera, how it has actually over the time changed, whether there was anything found which was poisonous. I also feel, and as I said, that the recent surge in forensic science has been on the front of financial crimes. And I personally feel this is an area which requires the expertise of people unconnected with the general sciences that we understand. Science we always understand, meaning physics, chemistry, maths, and biology, which we study in school, and most of us try to run away from it and have tried to bunk those classes or somehow pass it. At least I can say that for myself. I can't say it definitely for Professor Vimal and all others. Obviously, you have studied far more. Hum to kisi tarah se we just passed it. So, forensics today is becoming a very key element amongst the chartered accountants, the company secretaries, financial analysts, CFAs, who are being employed by the investigating agencies. Just for your information, and I'm sure the professor would know, if he's dealing with the police, that they have on their panel auditors who are examining, who have the teams to do forensic audits. Forensic audit is an element which today is the requirement, where the financial crimes are being investigated. So when you have to discern those financial crimes, how does one track it? Because if there is a cover-up, if there is some kind of a shield, some kind of a diversion, which doesn't come out so clearly, it requires forensic audits. You have to track every transaction, every step in a very methodical, technical, and a calculated scientific way. They have to compare whether the money which has gone into a particular account, whether that account had other transactions or not. So it has to be scientifically analyzed. This scientific analysis doesn't have to be related to physics, chemistry, maths. There may be some math involved in it, but then it's not the understanding of science, forensic science as forensic science, but the application of scientific technique. Scientific technique, scientific methods, which can be logically explained, which flow in a proper logical fashion, is the use of forensic science. It is not merely what meets the eye. But forensics goes into things which does not meet the eye. Something which is otherwise not clear, something which is not expressed there. But the forensic mind will give you an insight sometimes also into the crime involved. Again, going back to Sherlock Holmes and Agatha Christie, we would find always in the end, the murderer would be somebody totally different, whom we did not suspect in the first 50 pages. Because the motive was not discernible. Forensics allows the motive to be discerned. And that's why I said there was a case of S.J. Chaudhary, which went up to a constitution bench on typewriter evidence. Whether the same kind of tests would be applicable. Would a typewriter be a unique machine? When you write or you type on a paper from a particular typewriter, would it have distinguishable marks? Would the key punched in give the same result, or say Remington typewriters of all of that time would all give the same result? So forensics keeps on developing. And as I said earlier also, the cases which relate to the forensics are today increasing because people are trying to be a little more smart when they act. They try to remove all the evidences. Therefore, scientific techniques are necessary. Even to the extent that there is a case, in fact, in US, where the night vision camera could only give a body profile. And whether the body profile could match. And then it was, though it was not taken as a solitary piece of evidence, they compared it with the mobile. Where was the mobile? Whether the like we today have nodal officers of different phone companies coming in to give testimony regarding the use of the mobile phone in a particular area. So it is not just that the forensic science will be just one witness, one man coming and saying, look, by the body profile, he's the person, so that's the end of it. No. You may have to put in a number of such pieces. It may not be a single particular scientific aspect, but several such small scientific aspects which lead to an irresistible conclusion altogether that this is the person we want to prosecute, and this is the way it requires the prosecution, because these are small 1, 2, 3 pieces of evidence which require to be, when put together, he needs to explain. So the onus of proof, which in India is generally on the person prosecuting the case, shifts to him to shed that burden. And once that onus shifts to that person, you may be able to bring out and elicit the truth. This can happen during trial. This can happen even during investigation, when he's pitted with the facts that, look, this body profile matches yours. Your mobile was found there. You were in that locality. Then comes all the other circumstances. There may not be a direct evidence. There might not be A saying that I saw B doing it. But then one camera caught B, one camera caught B's mobile, one tower located him there, his car was found parked. The tire marks matched. All these things put together are different pieces of forensic science, which will come in handy and are slowly and gradually becoming necessary for all sorts of investigations, whether it is even from the exhumation of the body. Sometimes you are finding out by DNA profiling a person, explosives used. What kind of explosives have been used will also give, once a forensic report comes, many times you come to know that this kind of an explosive is actually only available from a particular region or a particular country. So the origin of the explosive comes in. There may be other ways of detecting. Long back, there was, in fact, a murder case which was solved on the footprints. The footprints, the shoe size. On that basis, the man was picked up. He was accused of murdering his uncle. As luck would have it, and the other evidences were not sufficient. Though he was convicted by the trial court, the High Court acquitted because of failure of other evidences. So I'm not saying it's a foolproof way, but yes, you can't allow us to be fooled. So to avoid smart people from fooling others, forensics is the aid and the necessity of deploying forensic science in various fields and various aspects of our lives, of the way today in the cheating cases, the financial transaction cases, the way forensics are used, the call records are used to show there is a communication and conspiracy elements. There is a lot of DNA profiling from the hair which are dropped, sometimes your scratch marks, the blood found in the rape victims cases. There are a lot of times that the rape victim have scratched somebody and there is blood in their nails. That has been found to be sometimes sufficient to find out the DNA profile of the person and match. So when you check it up globally, you'll find forensic science is today a very, very, very important tool in all legal investigations. It's only going to go further, and as our reliance and dependence on technology is growing, I think this is the field which will need to be developed, understood, and rightly deployed. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I think you really highlighted upon right from history to taking examples of Sherlock Holmes and Agatha Christie and connecting the different fields and the aspect of forensic science. So it's not just physics, chemistry, you rightly mentioned, but the psychology, how the criminal is thinking, and so much. And you rightly mentioned about the scientific investigation, which will not be dependent upon some preconceived notion, but how these small pieces of evidence can be collected, and then a person can look into the solving of that very particular crime. And that's where I would like to mention that this particular course also, we have taken some important themes, not limited to, but yes, we will be covering about the various bodies, like even Directorate of Forensic Science, their roles, mobile crime laboratories, criminal profiling, psychology of evidence, fundamental and principle of fingerprints, question documents. You rightly mentioned about that how the white collar crime and the accounting purpose, as well as the document from service record point of view, the change of dates and all, NDPS Act, Evidence Act, basic and fundamentals of forensic science. Forensic science helps in how criminal cases investigation and the alteration in documents. So the methodology that we are going to adapt is there will be expert lectures with multimedia presentations, case studies, some pre-recorded video lectures. The live sessions will also be recorded and they will be shared with the learners for face-to-face as well as online, that they can watch these lectures again and again as many number of times with interactive quizzes, assignments, and projects, to name a few. And at this juncture, I will also like to share that in our center, we also have a state-of-art studio where we have been creating various digital repositories, and we have a rich forensic science repository, which as per the theme we will be sharing with the participants. And I will like to show this video, just 2 minutes. It's an introduction to forensic science, and this is how we have
Hello
created.
and namaskar. We are a team of forensic scientists. And in this module, we are going to introduce the subject of forensic science to you. To begin with, you might be eager to know how the term forensic originated.
The term forensic has originated from the word forum, which during the times of ancient Roman Empire meant a public place where the Senate used to conduct its meetings. The Senate. So similarly, we'll be describing about the different fields and just how visually rich content we have created.
Is a location from which the evidence that a crime has been committed may be collected. The location may be an indoor area, an outdoor area, an entire building, or a vehicle. The suspect would have traversed the location while committing the crime. A crime scene may be a compact, well-defined area, for example, a bedroom in which a murder has been committed. At times, evidence may be recovered from a contiguous area. For example, a dining room adjacent to the bedroom where the murder took place.
So we have many of such multimedia enriched videos, and now going further, all these will be provided to the participants of all these certificate courses and the PG diploma. Now I will request our another very distinguished senior advocate with us, Shri Inderveer Singh Alagji, to please give your valuable insight also on the theme and guide us to how we take it further, this particular course, because we will be also evolving as per the expert guidance coming from very senior persons like you from judiciary. Sir, over to you, please.
Thank you, Vimlaji. Thank you so much. I don't think Mohit has left much for me to speak. After that elaborate presentation by Mohit, I don't want to repeat anything further on that. And thank you, Jaswinderji, for inviting us to this panel. And Mohit, always a dear friend and a esteemed colleague at the bar, and our president at the bar association. Thank you for being here. And all the other participants and the organizers, including Professor Sodi, and all those people who have taken the efforts to put this program together. I would only start with saying that Mohit has really covered it right from the conventional form of forensic science to the present day cybercrime and the computer hacking and the forensic audit that is required for financial crimes. So I do not want to enter into all that now because nothing much remains to be said. But one I need to say is that forensic is becoming a very, very important part of our life, which has always been. Earlier, it was relating to documents, forgeries, and fabrication of documents where we were in the courts trying to get the documents proved to be wrong. But over a period of time, it has evolved into relating to body injuries, to body crimes, then to the property crimes, then to the now to what we have is a cyber crime with hacking of your websites and your computers are there. So I would only suggest to go on with the further program. I would not like to go into further, and I would only say that the program that has been developed by the college is a program which is really a wonderful job, and I congratulate the whole team for doing this. And I don't want to take too much time because I'm sure Mr. Professor Soti is waiting to give his lecture, and we're already beyond time. So we will we'll hand it over, and I'll cut short my whole speech here and leave it to Mr. Sodhi to take over now. Mohit, I hope you don't mind. I keep it as short as this. I'm anyway a man of few words.
Thank you, sir. Those are very valuable words, and I'm sure, we may bother you subsequently also, whenever we find.
Anytime, sir, we are
yeah,
always
yeah.
available. For
Thank
this, we are always
Thank you, sir.
available.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. We will be really looking for your continuous guidance,
We'll
both
always
of
be
you
there.
and many others who are there as participants. Please, we welcome all of you to keep guiding us, because this is a new initiative of a different kind, and we also will be evolving in the process. But then we also have an expert in forensic science, more than now 2 decades. Dr. Sodhi, Professor Sodhi has been working in this field. He earned his PhD degree from Delhi University, and he has more than 100 research papers, more than 10 patents in this area. He was visiting fellow National Crime Records Bureau, Ministry of Home Affairs, and he also has successfully completed many research projects funded by various agencies like UGC, DST, INSA, and University of Delhi. And he has also received various awards, which includes the prominent of them: Union Home Minister Award, National Technology Day Award, National Search for Innovation Award, Lockheed Martin, to name a few. And he has also written many books, and especially this book I would like to mention on Indian Civilization and Science of Fingerprinting. And this was published by Publication Division, Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. And he is also a member of International Fingerprinting Research Group, Jerusalem. Sir, so welcome, and over to you to please give more insights into what we are planning for this, and otherwise also how at Khalsa College we have taken this field to greater heights. Over to you, sir. You'll have to unmute yourself, sir.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Vimal. Honorable Mohit Mathurji and Inderveer Singh ji, my principal, Dr. Vimal, and all the participants. It's really nice of you to invite me over here. I was coordinator of the Forensic Science Unit, which was set up in 2009 in our college. The University of Delhi permitted us to run a postgraduate diploma course in forensic science. And that's a unique course, and ours was the only college which was selected to run this course. Because as Dr. Vimal pointed out, I was into this research work more earlier, 10 years earlier than that. So I'll briefly take you, since it's very innovative on the part of our principal sir and Professor Vimal to think on new lines to now involve lawyers also, advocates also. So I'll take you through a brief journey what all we have been doing at Khalsa College, what facilities we have generated, so that the remaining participants can also have a view of it, and they can decide upon joining this course. I'll just I have a small presentation. I'd like to share it first. Yeah. Professor Vimal, I hope it's visible.
Yes, coming up, sir. Till now it is not. Just click on the desktop. Yeah.
It's there now?
Yeah, now it is visible, sir.
Okay.
You can make it full screen, yeah, please.
I'll try to do that.
Just go to the slide presentation at the bottom of your presentation.
Mm-hmm.
This right arrow, you can click on that, sir. Yeah. Yeah, this arrow. Yeah.
Nice
Or
to
go
see.
to the top, sir. Go on slideshow if you're not able to click from here. Go on the slideshow on the top. Yeah, navigation bar.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So, as I said, we started this course in 2009. That was our first batch. And, the main objectives were to impart knowledge of forensic science, to involve society into it, to generate new ideas, and so on. And, the eligibility was 55% marks, but only science graduates. Mohit Mathurji, only science graduates, I'm sorry. But then that was the condition of the university. It gave us 30 seats. But I tell you, within this sphere also, we faced a lot of problems. Because BSc honors, physics, chemistry, botany, zoology, computer science, maths, all students sitting in the same class. And it was, at the end, or equivalent. Okay, so very soon we had students who had completed MBBS, students who had completed BTech and physiotherapy, they all joined. You can imagine in one class, such a heterogeneous group. And see the condition of the teacher, the challenge before the teacher. We have to teach crime scene management, we have to teach forensic science to such a heterogeneous group. And the aim is to solve the crime case. At the crime scene, the investigator can never say that I'm from physical sciences, why are you giving blood to analyze? Or I'm from life sciences, why are you giving a bullet to analyze? Whether it is blood or it is bullet, you have to process the crime scene evidence. So, hats off to our teachers. They were able to deal with such a, diverse group sitting in the same class. And as Professor Vimal pointed out, we cover almost every aspect of forensic science in 1 year. It's a 1-year course dissected into 2 semesters. We take up criminalistics, we take up physical sciences, we take up chemical sciences, we take up life sciences. And then the most important part is that a dissertation. Now here we had the advantage of diversity. Because students from every field were sitting over there, we give them one problem to solve. And that problem comes from Bureau of Police Research and Development. We already have a MOU with them. And they keep telling us that such and such case could not be solved because of the lack of technology. So we give that problem to our students. And since they are from such different backgrounds, from life sciences and physical sciences both, they are able to solve that problem. I'll further give you a few examples. They have to do a research project. They have to submit their dissertation, and we pass on the dissertation back to Bureau of Police Research and Development, so that if any further case takes place, at least they have the data, they have the know-how, how to proceed on that line. Honorable Mathurji was mentioning the Tandoor Hatyakand case, where the accused cut the body of his wife, Naina Sani, into pieces and put it in the oven. Well, I'll take it a little further. When he came back home after committing that crime, the very first thing he did was he washed his car. And for the next 2 days, the police, they frantically looked for fingerprints on his car, but they could not retrieve any. And as far as I know, the case lingered for almost 18 years. And that's why, his capital punishment was reduced to life imprisonment. Why it happened? Because it's very easy to wash away the fingerprints. But then we put this problem to our students, that you are from, different science streams. Think over it. Is it impossible to get fingerprints on moist surfaces? And now this example is before you. This is a glass item. It was dipped in water for more than 36 hours, and it has revealed clear fingerprint. All job of students for their dissertation of PG diploma course. Now, if you look below this, there is a special type of tape called duct tape. It is used by suicide bombers to tie explosives on their bodies. And this role was given to me by Australian Federal Police. They said, we have actually fed up. No technique of fingerprint detection works on it. So once again, the problem was with our students. They applied their minds together, and it may not be very clear, but the fingerprint actually came out of very good quality. And we have this method now. And we are very, we have not filed a patent on this in the name of humanity. We are very pleased to pass it on to any person, any nation which desires it. There are just a few examples. Then many a times, Inderveer ji, aapke paas bhi aate honge, a case comes that such and such person was a terrorist and he was shot dead. But the kin of the person says that the police came to our residence at night, They handcuffed our person, they took him to the police station, and later on they have killed him in a fake encounter. Now, who is speaking the lie and who is not? Well, the clue can come from the soil sticking to the garments and to the shoes of that person. After every 100 meters, the composition of soil changes. So if that soil matches with the surrounding soil, it was a genuine encounter. If not, then it's a fake encounter. So we took our students. This is River Satluj in Punjab, not as mighty a river as Ganges or Godavari, but it hardly passes through any urban area. It traverses only forest areas and small villages. And these are the areas where dead bodies most likely to be dumped. So we asked our students to verify this hypothesis. They took soil samples after every 100 meters from both the banks. And we could ascertain that yes, after every 100 meters, the composition of soil changes. So next time if such a thing happens, we have suggested it to Bureau of Police Research and Development that do the soil analysis. At least you will be able to answer whether it was a fake encounter or whether it was a genuine encounter. Then this was, a formulation which we developed with the help of Israel police. I won't go into the details of science or chemistry of it. It's a very interesting reagent. Suppose a person commits suicide, you spray this reagent, even though the person is now dead, it will give red coloration on his palm. But suppose somebody else comes and shoots him down and places the gun in the dead man's hand so that the police may think that it's a case of suicide. When you spray this reagent, it's called triazine reagent, there will be no coloration. In case of suicide, there will be red coloration. But in case of a murder, which is made to look like suicide, there will be no coloration. And this was awarded best prize in our annual fair. We call it Antardhwani. It used to be an annual gathering of Delhi University, where you can see the Vice Chancellor, Professor Dinesh Singh, is sitting, is standing with us and examining it. And later on, we were given the first prize for our innovation. 4 Army officers have already completed this course. This course is on the panel of Defense Ministry. Now, any Army officer who is interested in forensic science, he can come to our college and he'll be given sabbatical leave for that. We take our students, as principals are told, on Saturdays and Sundays. We have MOU with Delhi Police, with the mobile crime team, and they go actually to the crime scenes. And they see how the processing is done. But let me tell you, it's a two-way process. Many a times, the police officers and policemen, police personnel, they ring us back कि हम तो गलत कर रहे थे, आपको students से बचा दिया. So it's a two-way learning process. Apart from that, we take them for field work. On the right-hand side, you can see they have developed a footprint. We take them for various conferences. And here, as principals have told you about, verifying the certificates, you can see on the left-hand side, he's an American student. He came American citizen. He wanted to pursue a PhD in political science from Delhi University. And that's a matter of honor for us because normally our students go abroad. So he submitted 3 documents. One was his picture on the passport. The other was his identity, and the third one was the Delhi University application form. And you can see the picture did not match. So the registrar of the university sent it to us, those papers, and we proved that the person was genuine. Only thing was that the photographs were taken at different spans of time. But on the right-hand side, see this. This is a fake certificate. The person, the student, he had low marks. He took the certificate of one of his classmates, scanned it, took a colored copy, pasted his photograph, changed the name on Paint Portal, pasted his photograph, took the photograph of the whole document, and then got a fake certificate prepared. Now see where we caught him. It was absolutely a foolproof document. But if you see this photograph, it was glossy, and otherwise the certificate was in matte finish. When he took the photograph, you can see the reflection of flash over here. That was the only clue with us, and now he's absconding. we reported to the college that this is a fake certificate. So, the person with a criminal bent of mind, he's liable to commit some error, and we have to catch up with that error. We also take our students for post-mortem examination, although it comes under the purview of doctors, but yes, we want to give them knowledge of each and every subject. We have MOU with the Indian Hospital, and there they go every year and see the live post-mortem being conducted. Here we were invited in Directors Conference of National Crime Record Bureau. Only directors of various fingerprints bureaus are invited, but our students, they make an exception because of our work on fingerprints. They invite us, and every year we go and attend them. This is from 2017, and it was held in Karnal. We have been given training to the police personnel. Here you can see the fingerprint experts of Delhi Police, as principal sir had already told you. We give training to overseas policemen also. Every year a batch comes from South Africa at National Crime Record Bureau, and one day is reserved for our college. They come and see what new innovations in fingerprints we have done. And as Professor Vimal and principals are also told you, we have given training to the Indian Army also. They wanted to establish a forensic lab, and no one was prepared to entertain them because it was a batch of 30 Jawans who were just 12th pass. Nobody had studied science. So no institute was prepared to give them training, but we took up this challenge and we trained them in just 3 months. This is, a mock accident. Mohit sir mentioned about tire marks. So this is what we studied over here. When a brake is applied, from the intensity of those marks, you can gauge which driver applied the brake first. So that's what, our students and see the army men, they have gelled together very nicely. They're collectively conducting this investigation of a mock accident over here. Now we have state-of-art classrooms endowed with the LCD projectors. We have, our facilities have already been inspected by Bureau of Police Research and Development. We have virtually everything with us. A very rich library, having not only books, but also journals. And we have various types of kits, footprint lifting kits, fingerprint kits, drug kits. We have various light sources, recording devices, various types of microscope, including comparison microscope. All the facilities which are available in any forensic science lab, we have them. The evidence markers, this is how, we teach our students to do crime scene management. We create a mock crime scene. Evidence markers are there, evidence flags are there, evidence collection envelopes are there. And you can see on the envelopes, the chain of custody format is also printed over there. We teach them how to collect different types of evidence. We have, as Professor Vimal said, we have published more than 100 research papers, completed 12 projects. 3 students have done MPhil after pursuing their PG diploma. 6 have completed PhD and 2 are in the process of completing it. This is a list of awards which we have obtained last 10 years in Khalsa College. And we have had 5 national level symposium, 1 international and 1 state level, all on forensic science. And our MOU is with 2 universities. Professor Vimal is trying with more universities. Once our students complete PG diploma, it is held equivalent to MSc previous forensic science. And they get lateral entry directly into MSc final forensic science. So normally, in 5 years, a person earns 2 degrees, BSc and MSc. Here they have 3 degrees, BSc, MSc, as well as PG diploma. And they have been, many of them have been placed successfully in state and central forensic science laboratories. Some of them are in teaching assignments at Jain University. The Dayal Singh College, Karnal has absorbed a few students of ours. KPMG has absorbed lot many. Now, a few tips which we keep giving. I'll just take, Vimal, I'll take 5 minutes more. Huh? So that is of the concern to the lawyers. Mathurji mentioned about Hemraj and the Arushi murder case. Arushi was, the body of Arushi was found. And 2 days later, the initial suspicion was on Hemraj, but about 24 hours later, his body was also found in the same flat. You know, we keep telling the police personnel, the first responders to crime, that it is your duty to cordon off the crime scene. Don't allow any outsiders to enter, because the whole crime scene is spoiled. Any person who enters the crime scene contaminates it, and any person who comes out of it will take away some piece of evidence along with it. Now, let me tell you that this protocol is rarely followed in India. But as far as the small flat is concerned, even cordoning is not necessary. You can just lock the door from inside. Nobody will come. But see what happened. This policeman is standing on the terrace where the body of Hemraj was discovered. There's a door, there's a small child standing over there. He is laughing and chatting with him. His duty was to close the door. He did not do even that. 15 minutes later, you can see a whole lot of people standing over there on the blood trail. The curious onlookers, the media persons, pehle main breaking news dunga. And you know, where is the evidence? Mathur ji, ab kya hoga case ka? It's very well known. We normally blame the policeman. But what about the educated person? See what the forensic scientist is doing. He's taking the photograph of blood trail and he's standing on the blood itself. What will the lawyer do? When the case goes to the court, what will he do? What is in his hand? He's taking the fingerprints from the AC. Behind this AC, the Hemraj's body was discovered. He's not even wearing gloves. He will take his own fingerprints, I'm sure about that. So, you know, these are small things which I'm very happy now we are connected to the lawyers. If these things would have done properly, I'm sure the actual culprit, which I think everyone knows who it was, would have been apprehended, would have been punished. So we always tell our students that if you find a bullet and blood at the crime scene, give priority to the processing of blood. Blood will be, you know, contaminated by wind action. It will be degraded by sunlight. It will be washed away by rainfall. So first tackle blood. And this is how the blood is being tackled at the crime scene. One more case. This sweet little boy studying in 2nd standard, he was murdered by a senior because there was a unit test on that day. The senior was not prepared. He thought that if the school closes down, I'll get more time for preparation. There won't be any test today. So he was found murdered. A wrong person was convicted, the bus conductor. Later on, the case goes to CBI and they find that they then indict the criminal. Now, what happens is, I've been telling this to the teachers wherever I go. The father of the accused is again a lawyer and a renowned lawyer. That's what I'm told. What I fear is that when the case goes to court, he has tried his level best to get bail for his son, but he has been unsuccessful. But when the case goes to court, what he'll do is he'll question what was the position of the body. Was the head towards the door or was it towards wash basin? The teachers did their duty. Immediately, they picked up the boy from the washroom and took him to the hospital. Unfortunately, midway, he died. Now, this is, you know, a small responsibility of educated person. If you are lifting an injured person or removing a dead body, we teachers always have chalk and marker with us. Draw an outline. Leave the rest for the police. This is something very important, you know, in the court of law. What was the position of the boy when you picked him up? So that position is not there. Nobody remembers it also. And if they call as witness 3 or 4 teachers, I'm sure each is going to give a different version. So once again, you know, this is something which is very small, very simple. It doesn't require any professional, you know, qualification to do that. But we should not miss it out. We tell the first responders that your duty is just to cordon off. Leave rest for the forensic scientists, but sometimes they are supposed to use discretion. There is a weapon in the wash basin. The accused committed the crime, put on the tap and went away. He knew that the fingerprints will get washed away. Soon water will overflow and the whole crime scene will be drenched with water, soaked with water. So now when the first responders goes over there, he has an additional duty. He should put off the tap with gloved hands and notice in his note down immediately that it was me who had put off the tap, closed the tap at this and this hour. Then a rape scene. You will always get hair evidence from over there. And hair is a very, sturdy, if you examine it chemically, it's a very sturdy thing. Nothing happens to it. You dip it in acid, you dip it in alkali, you dip it in boiling water, kuch nahi hoga. But unfortunately, it is so light that it will fly away. So when the first responder goes, the fan was on. He should put it off again with gloved hands and note it down in his notebook that it was me who had put it down at this and this hour. Suppose, you get information that a dead body is lying at some remote, desolate place. There are two ways to reach out to that dead body. One is a very simple way. You can simply walk down over there. And other has many obstacles. It has cliffs, it has thorn bushes. You see, the policeman should always take the difficult pathway. Because a criminal, however hardened he or she might be, is always in a hurry. If you walk on the same pathway, you trample on the evidence. This is the mistake which these two policemen are doing. See, it's not a pakka floor. It's mud, it's clay. The footprints will surely be there. Maybe some other piece of evidence, a fiber or hair is also there. After all, the person was lifting a dead body. But they are just trampling upon it. Now nothing will be left for the lawyers to do anything. Again, if you get information that somebody has buried a dead body, naturally you will start exhuming it. But the moment the first organ appears, now you have the idea of the position of the dead body. Stop digging. Rather dig a trench around that dead body. The person who lifts the dead body should be actually standing inside that trench. Why? Because beneath the dead body, you are sure to find footprints of the person or persons who buried it in the first place. You will find worms and insects, which will tell you the approximate time of burial. This is forensic entomology. You will find hair or fiber belonging to either or both the victim and the accused. So all these are foolproof evidence. Once again, see in this picture, the person is standing at that very level where the body is lying. This is absolutely wrong and unscientific. So, sir, these are some of the techniques which we tell our students, some of the tips we give to our students. We take them to crime scene. We take them to, various conferences also to keep them abreast so that when they grow up, when they get a final job, they can do, something worthwhile. So I'm happy that now even you people will be joining us through this course. This is what I wanted to enlighten you about. I hope you'll be convinced about what we are doing and whether it is appropriate or not. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for highlighting that how we have been taking this particular PG diploma course from last 1 year, since 2009. And then this is not the theoretical principles of the science, but taking them as a base, we are building upon through the case studies and the interactive sessions, the way various examples you showed. I think this is going to be benefiting not only directly the legal experts, but also other science teachers who want to be integrating these type of projects and case studies in their classroom teaching, because how the chemistry principles or the physics principles or the maths and all they are getting applied. I think this is the way the entire national education policy is also telling us to change, and we are giving one option to all our colleagues to join in this new co-learning journey. So let me just quickly share very, very important information that this PG diploma in forensic science, the 1-year PG diploma, which Professor Sodhi has explained in detail, there are still some seats left and we are opening the spot admissions till 30th November. come to our college, pay the registration fees, and we'll take you on board. And this is the QR code where any query you can just scan and get connected to my team, and we will be guiding you in all the minute queries that you have. And this particular certificate course, which is a 3 months course, is for legal professionals as well as from science or law background. Even the students are welcome to join. So that's where the 3 options. Let me repeat. The face-to-face mode, we want to have the close group of advocate and professionals. Option B, online mode, where any science or law graduate from across the country, they can join in this fully online mode. And my dear colleagues, science and law teachers and the allied disciplines, if they want to know how this forensic science can be really integrated into their teaching, which they are doing for their routine courses, then this will be a refresher course, online refresher course, where you can join in fully flexible mode without having any compromise on your teaching and other requirement. So for today's webinar, those who are interested in the e-certificates, this is the registration link. My team is also sharing it on YouTube as well as in the Zoom chat box. And this is the feedback link. I will request all of you to please fill both of these forms so that we can process your certification. And please note down our GAD-TLC WhatsApp number. You can directly message. Please do not call because many teams are working at the back end, and we'll get back to you about any query regarding whatever we have told in today's program. And this is a Telegram group if you wish to join. All our events, whether collaborative or individual, we keep on circulating information, and all we can learn in a different. So it's not only about the academics. I think it's how the real life professional, and this is a new start that we are doing. And again, I think this is a very unique thing we are starting. Professor Jaswinder Singh sir will correct me that how we are integrating the academia along with the real world experiences, which both of us can learn from each other. So if there are any quick questions from participants, we'll like to take them. And Professor Jaswinder Singh sir, please, if you like to add and say also thanks to our very distinguished panelists today.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Vimal. Obviously, you know, we are really privileged to have Shri Mohit Mathurji, who gave a very extensive, and you know, he has opened, in fact, the new areas for our young students and our teachers. You know, the young minds are joining University of Delhi, and many of them maybe, you know, if we are recording this this session, we will put it on our website also, and if permitted by the university, we can share it on the university website also, because he has said that it is not only the ordinary applications of science, you know, the forensic science, it needs to be corroborated with others. And since we are evolving many skill enhancement courses, Vimalji, if you can, you and Professor Sodhi, if you can, you know, request them to design some skill enhancement courses, we would be very, the students will be benefiting a lot from this. And since we are already in this process in the University of Delhi, we would love to have, you know, some skill enhancement courses which can be helpful to our students and to our faculty. Thank you, Mathur Saab, for sparing your entire morning today for Khalsa College, and we are really indebted. And same for Sardar Inderjeet Singh ji for, you know, sharing his thoughts very briefly, but very valuable inputs he has given. And I think, Vimalji, if it is possible, we can invite them for special lectures, you know. This was an inaugural, if we can have this. And then I'm also extremely grateful to Atulji for Atul Sachdevaji, who worked in the telecom department and also in the communication departments in various capacities. And Kushagar Sachdeva, who is who in fact took the initiative to ask us to, if we can think of introducing a certificate in the forensic science. And I can also see, Rajiv Chadokji,
Yeah,
with
sir, I
us.
think sir is also a senior advocate, and I
Yeah.
think he wants to interact and ask. So please, sir, you can unmute and go ahead.
And Kushagar, thank you very much. In fact, you are the backbone of this, and I'm sure, many of the logistics for carrying out this certificate program, we will leave it to you, because we will be doing many online things also for this. So that will help us in doing this. And I am extremely grateful to all the participants on behalf of Khalsa College who have participated in this inaugural session, and who will, I'm sure, if some of us join together, we will, as Professor Vimal said in the beginning, it is a no profit, no loss kind of a thing. It is going to be a joint effort. And even those who will be joining us online, we will think of giving them some hands-on experience. Dr. Sodhi and Professor Vimal, they have developed some labs of forensic science in Khalsa College. And as Mathu Sahab mentioned that, DNA profiling, which was mentioned by Professor Deepak Pental also, if you can remember, Sodhi Sahab, he also said that we should develop a very extensive DNA profiling lab, and in the maybe in the months to come, we would concentrate on that also, and we will incorporate that.
That will hold on the existing DNA labs,
Yeah, we can think of DNA sequencing is not only helpful in the forensic examination, it also helps us in other subjects, in botany, zoology, and the anthropology, where we are giving some courses. So thank you everybody once again for joining this morning and helping us in this. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. And I think before we proceed further, if there are any queries, and I can see Rajiv Chandok sir to have raised hands. So please, sir, go ahead. Your question or query or some feedback that you want to share, please. Can you unmute? My team, just look, make sir co-host. Himanshi or Gayatri, who is there? Please unmute all right now. They can unmute and ask the queries. And I will request all of you to please put on your videos also. At least virtually we can be face to face. Yeah. Thank you everyone. And please make the provision of everyone unmuting. And Rajiv Chandok sir, I think you can now unmute yourself, please.
Yes, ma'am, done.
Yeah. Please unmute all of them. So. Yeah, please, sir. Go ahead, Rajiv Chandok, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Mr. Alag. Good afternoon, Professor Sodhi. Good afternoon, Mr. Mathur. Good afternoon, Mr. Jaswinder Singh. Good afternoon, ma'am. My query is a very short query, drawing the analogy that Professor Sodhi was discussing with regarding to the soil test in criminal law with regard to encounters. Mr. Mathur, I want to know, is there any branch with regard to civil engineering where forensics are involved? Like bridge, and there's a bridge disaster, or there's a road disaster.
You are right. There are. I in fact, I was hoping that perhaps I'll not be asked to speak too much on the civil side. But if you remember, around LSR College, about 9 or 10 years back, there was a collapse of a pillar, metro pillar.
Right.
And Gammon India people were called for inquiry by the DMRC. Now, I'm not a very good science student, and I can candidly confess that. But there is a concept of cube test. The M4 and M5 is the test. I don't know the technical details of it. But in civil engineering, especially in building and in all these big projects, the contractor is required to maintain a cube of the construction material which he is deploying, and that cube goes for a test. That gives the strength of the column or whatever it is being built. Now, in civil engineering, in fact, long back, in USA, there was a case where they talked of the collapse of a ropeway on a 3rd or 4th floor level. So the strength of the columns on which it was tied, the strength of the wires, the steel wires, everything was scientifically tested, that whether there was a weak link or not. In Gammon India's case, they found that it was not the material that was substandard, but the design was found to be later on that it had a technical flaw. Now, when the DMRC conducted their own inquiries, and that's why I said it did not go to the criminal law, it went into the civil aspect. And they found that it was a flaw of the design. And as recent as about 2 years back, you would recall, there was a Grenfell Tower in London. There was a fire tragedy in which there were the common, I don't know what it was called, what we have as MIG flats, that kind of a thing. So they found it was because of the cladding in the stairwell and all. The cladding was bad. So forensics is applicable everywhere. That's why I said, please don't limit it to just the criminal law. My understanding. So they said that the cladding material was cheap, so it caught fire. Now that can only come in when you have the forensics. The towers were found to be of the below there, whatever in England they have the town planning and whatever town standards that they have. So it was crowded living in that area, in that tower, and the cladding which was used was cheap quality. So that could only be done by forensics. Obviously, the tower was built, the tower was fine. So they are today prosecuting. Initially, the direction was find out short circuiting, etc., and all those things. And there were so many lives lost. So many people became homeless. So in civil engineering, even in mechanical engineering, they find if that's a scientific defect. Now, this can only forensic. Basically, that's why I said the forensic word, the meaning actually implies the scientific usage of the application and techniques. Now, if you scientifically go backwards into the process and find that there was a fault, so don't look at the immediate cause which you feel is the immediate cause, but it could actually emerge to be something which was done wrongly at in the process or at the starting. So that is that scientific part which you need to examine. And Professor Sodhi was mentioning about different things. In fact, I forgot to mention, and I had thought that since you are doing a course, you may be able to help. There is a concept which is developing about ink dating, that carbon dating of inks used. So when you and I'm talking of carbon dating of inks, not just of the typewriter inks or the documentation, etc. Today they are doing it, the carbon dating and ink dating, even on other aspects, even your laser jets. The printers, these computer printers, how old is the document that has been produced before the court? Is it actually the contemporaneous to the date given, or is it a creation? So you are right, mechanical, civil engineering also, and Upahar tragedy, what better? It was the addition of the seats. Just to increase your revenue, you increase seats and you change. Forensic doesn't have to be, again, just calculating and finding whether a chemical is used or not used. But forensics...
Electrical as well. There was electrical labs also.
But the catastrophe was not because of the electrical. The catastrophe was because of blockage of the aisleways.
Aisleways, yes.
So catastrophe was because escape routes were stopped.
Escape routes.
So
Mr.
exit routes, then it's all right. So we have all these things. It's an endless topic, and perhaps Sodhi Saab has done enough research, because I was seeing from the photographs and all, and I have been a participant as a lawyer in several cases, as even if not for the trial purposes, but for the preparation of the cases. So these photographs and all, if he has had his and laid his hands on it, it's an extensive research already done. And you'll only be doing well if you are adding fresh mind, because fresh mind will give fresh thoughts, and a totally new perspective will come in. And I'm in fact really happy and elated to hear that they are participating in the actual crime scenes. नहीं तो what we call as के जो सोच है ना, वो एक जगह जाके रुक जाती है फिर investigators की. वो fresh infusion and fresh blood only can bring in the new thoughts. एक नया perspective आता है. As they used to say, use a thief to catch a thief. So in some of these crime thrillers, you would find that they use the people who are old masters at it. And in one of the cases in US, especially on paintings, on this, what do you call, these fake paintings of these masters, it was actually the use of a particular paint which told them where and who could be the painter's origins of a particular region. So these are all
art. So art as well as science both.
Science used in art.
Very
Science, yeah, and lawyering is art and science both. Yeah.
That please leave it to us. Let the teachers not step in.
I know. Thank you, everyone.
I think
Thank
that's
you.
all is the holistic development of students we are looking for, where we have not only the theoretical part, but real life application, the industry, and also if learners from different backgrounds can join, it can really be more better. Peer group learning is what happened. And I think Professor Sodhi sir will correct me. I think even there have been stalwarts like Roland Rees, who was a photographer, who had initiated and the entire institution of forensic science came up in his name. So anyone, I think, who has interest towards solving these crimes and then apply whatever information, knowledge, and do a scientific and a proper investigation, correcting these evidence. And I'm sure that all these batches, some online participant and some offline, there will be good interactions virtually as well as offline. So with these words, thank you everyone for joining in this today morning, spending your so much valuable time, all the distinguished panel, Mohit sir, Indrajit sir, Principal sir, Dr. Sodhi, Kush, and all the entire organizing team, and all dear participants, all of you, I say thanks on behalf of University of Delhi, SCTB Khalsa College, and Guru Angad Dev Teaching Learning Center, a center of Ministry of Education. And now I will request all of you to be please standing in the honor of our national anthem.
भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे
So.
Thank you, Ji. Thank you, everybody. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you, everyone, sir. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Kushag.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you,
you, sir.
Kushagar. Thank you.
We had a
Thank
very
you.
good session. We had a very good learning
Thank you.
session, in fact.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very much. Thank you. Sir.